Today we are making dolmades. It's a Mediterranean or Greek stuffed grape leaf. Okay guys, so I have grape leaves from my garden and I realize that most of you won't, but I just want to show you what my leaves look like. You want to pick them when they're tender and young. And I just want to show you how I snip off the stem here. You just want to go to where it meets the leaf and just trim that off. And I'm just going to throw these in boiling water for 2 minutes, maybe a little bit less, and then into ice cold water just to blanch them. Now for those of you who don't have a grapevine, you can buy grape leaves in the store. They come in a brine, so what you want to do is drain the brine out of the can and you want to soak them in some water. They come really tightly wound up in like a cigar-like shape. So as they soak, you're just going to want to gently move them around. Here, this is what it looks like when you take it out. And you just want to gently unfold them and let them soak for maybe 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Make sure you get all that brine off of them, otherwise they'll be too salty. So the next thing you want to do is saute some onions. I have 3 cups of chopped onions and I'm sauteing them in some good quality olive oil. You don't want to do it over too high a flame. You don't want your onions to burn. We're just going to cook them until they start to get a little bit of color. Okay, so now that the onions have started to caramelize, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. You can go lighter on the onions. You don't have to get them caramelized. You can just let them get to the point where they're soft. And now I've added my garlic. I'm just going to saute it a little bit, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so now that the garlic has sauteed a little bit, I'm going to add my rice. And I'm using arborio rice today, but feel free to use any kind of rice you want. And you can rinse it, but I'm not going to rinse my rice today. And I've added 2 cups of rice to my onions. I'm going to give them a stir. Give the rice a stir. And now I'm going to add some chicken stock. You can certainly make it all vegetarian and just add water. I'm adding 2 cups of stock. And it was hot water that I used to make the stock. I used the powdered stock. If you use the homemade stock, then just heat it up before you add it. I'm just going to cook this a little bit. I don't want the rice to fully cook through. It'll keep cooking once we wrap the grape leaves. If you were cooking the rice in water instead of stock, I would recommend putting the salt in right after you add the water. Now it's been a few minutes, 3-4 minutes since I put the stock in. I'm going to add some lemon zest. That's zest of 2 lemons. If you don't want it too lemony, you can skip this, but I kind of want it to be lemony today. And I'm going to stir that in, cover it up, and let it cook a little bit longer. So it's been 12 minutes. I've been cooking the rice on a low flame. Now I turned off the heat and I'm going to add some mint and some dill. I have about a cup worth of chopped fresh mint and a whole bunch of dill. You can use parsley also, or instead of. You can use just one of these herbs. It's really up to you. And I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of lemon juice, fresh squeezed lemon juice. And I'm going to stir that in, and I'm going to cover this up, and I'm going to let it cool. If you want, you can also add some fresh ground black pepper at this point. Once your rice has cooled enough for you to handle it, you want to put some in your leaf. I probably have a heaping tablespoon here. And what you want to do is, you want to roll it kind of like an egg roll or a cabbage roll. Just fold it over, tuck in, and roll. You don't want to do it too tight because as it cooks, the rice will expand a little bit more and it can pop your grape leaves. But you do want to get it somewhat tight. And you just want to give it a squeeze, not too tight. And then this little tip right here, you want it seam side down when you put it in your pot. I forgot to mention that you want to have the grape leaf facing with the veins up. The grape leaf has 2 sides. There's a prettier glossy side, and then the other side where the veins, you can feel them with your hand. So you want that veiny side up. And I'll just show you one more time how I roll these. You just keep rolling and tucking. And there you have it. So I got a total of 42 dolmades, And I don't know if you can see the difference, but this is using the store-bought grape leaves, and these are the homegrown ones. They're a little bit more tender. What I've done here is I've lined my pot with some grape leaves, and then you're just going to pack them in nice and tight. I'll show you that once that's done. So I've got my first layer in, and I don't think I'm going to have enough for a full second layer, but I'll show you what I'm going to do. First of all, I'm going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil over the top of these. And I'm going to put another layer of grape leaves down. I forgot to mention I've put on another little drizzle of olive oil over the top. Once you cover your dolmades with the final layer of grape leaves, I'm going to add about a half a cup of fresh squeezed lemon juice. And I'm going to use chicken stock, but you can absolutely use just plain water. And you want to add enough to just reach the top of them. And I'm going to use my bacon press. I just wrapped it in some foil, but you can use a plate, and then if you have something heavy to put on top of it, to just weigh them down so they don't go floating around. And I'm going to cover it and cook it for about 30 minutes, or until the rice is cooked through. So here it is, our finished product. I hope you enjoy.